Yo, what's going on, guys? Mr. 81 here back with the new video. Leave a like and subscribe. So let's get straight into the video. I'm joined with the guest, Tommy. How's it going, Tommy?
Oh yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Tell the fans a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, I just make NBA content. I'm from the UK. My content's mainly Rockets and Sixers based. However, I do a bit of every single team. But yeah, that's what I like doing, and that's what my channel's about.
So if you guys don't know me, you guys probably do know me. I make NBA content. I just make about like almost every 30 teams in the NBA. But yeah, man, the playoffs have been going good. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan. He likes the Houston Rockets, the Philadelphia 76ers. His main team is the Sixers. So this is going to be my second collab on this with another YouTuber. So let's get straight into the video. What are your thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers firing their head coach, Frank Vogel?
That's a good question, but I feel like Frank Vogel was a decent coach, a defensive coach. However, it just didn't work as the Lakers roster didn't have that many defensive players. So it was kind of a collision with the coach's scheme and the players on the roster, which led to him being fired. However, that's irrelevant now. And the most important thing is them hiring a coach who has the adequate resume to coach LeBron and AD and can help the Lakers get back to where they deserve to be.
Yeah, man, I agree with you, man. I know the blame has been on Coach Frank Vogel. I'm gonna have to disagree on you on this, but personally, the only thing I didn't like about Coach Frank Vogel, even though he's a defensive coach, is he was playing Dwight. He wasn't getting enough playing time, Dwight Howard, and plus he was playing Carmelo Anthony at center, LeBron at center. And I didn't really like it, and we didn't see a lot of consistency from the Lakers because there were times that the Lakers did good. Like for example, the Toronto Raptors game. Look at the game winner from Russell Westbrook. We saw Dwight Howard playing a lot of minutes, getting some PT, and so is Winnie and Gabriel. Like we didn't see that consistent this season when those guys were playing. And so we had like 38 different lineups this season. And I heard some rumors about like Doc Rivers becoming a head coach, Quinn Snyder. Personally, I don't really want Doc Rivers as a head coach because he's known for blowing 3-1 leads. He almost blown a 3-1 lead against the Toronto Raptors yesterday. And they could have gave the series, but they won yesterday. And heading into the game, I knew the Toronto Raptors were going to lose, but I didn't think they were going to lose by like 35 points. At top of my head, yeah, they lost by 35 points. So, what are your thoughts on the Los Angeles Lakers this offseason? Like, what moves do you think they need to do?
So first of all, coaching wise, as a Sixers fan, you guys can have Doc Rivers. I'll hand him over. I'll drive him to the airport personally. But on a serious note, the most important thing is changing the roster, getting younger, hungrier players around LeBron and AD, players that can space the floor and defend. So really, just scrapping a lot of the role players they have should be the main thing. And secondly, Russell Westbrook. Now, I don't know if you can move the contract. I've heard rumors about the Pacers, which I believe we'll get onto later, and the Hornets. However, if he has to be on the roster, the most important thing is putting players around him that can make Russell Westbrook be a very valuable piece to the team, like he was on the Washington Wizards. So, yeah,
And another question is, who do you think, like, what players do you think they should keep on the team?
that's a great question. Personally, LeBron, AD, Malik Monk, Stanley Johnson, maybe Wenyon Gabriel, but with a lesser role, Austin Reeves, and that's about it.
My opinion, you might disagree on me on this, but I know we're an old team. We need to learn from this and get younger. But if I was the Lakers, or I would keep Austin Reeves, Malik Monk, Winnie Gabriel, maybe not THT because one team's gonna probably want him. He's gonna have to be a part of a package with Russell Westbrook or something like that. But I would trade LeBron, trade Anthony Davis, but I don't know who we would get in return. And plus, Anthony Davis, LeBron James are too injured right now. Like Anthony Davis missed most of the season this year. If we would have had Anthony Davis stay healthy and would have played like the bubble year that he played, I think we would have made the playoffs. And if Russell Westbrook didn't have a ego, I think we would have made the playoffs too. And right rotations, like we can't have 37, 38 lineups the whole season. That's not acceptable. And we need to make some moves like get a coach that wants to build around the players. Like we shouldn't settle on the second or third option. We should go for the first option. So what are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I'm gonna backfire with a question. What do you mean by you think LeBron and AD should be traded? Elaborate on that.
Like I feel like we should like get younger, man. Like I understand like LeBron, his been putting an MVP year this season, even though he didn't win it. And he's putting the stats. He's doing everything he can. He's trying to help the team, but he shouldn't be involved. He should let the organization do what they got to do. Like we should have had DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield, but instead we got Russell Westbrook. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, I do agree that sometimes the GM is a bit too involved in the behind the scenes things. And if it wasn't for him, DeMar DeRozan would be a Laker. Whether or not he would have had the same success, we will never know. However, we know they'd be in a better position than they are in now. But hindsight is 2020. And going forward, I feel like LeBron and AD should still be on the roster. I don't think they should trade them. However, they should just make trades that can benefit and maximize their abilities. So that's really what I think that should happen in the Lakers this offseason.
Yeah, I understand. I know some people are going to want to rebuild, some people are not because they think that we're 1 or 2 years apart from winning a championship. I can't disagree on that, but we all have our own opinions. And I want to first talk about the Russell Westbrook rumors. Like we hear about the Charlotte Hornets, the Indiana Pacers, Gordon Hayward, all this. What do you think of this, man?
That's a great question. Personally, starting off with the Hornets, if you could get Terry Rozier in return, 100%. However, with Gordon Hayward, the player, yes, I would consider. However, the fact that he is always so injury prone and he is turning 32, 33 is the main reason why I wouldn't do that. Also, because if the Gordon Hayward experience flops, he has 3 more years left in his contract, which just puts you in more turmoil financially. Whereas Russell Westbrook, if you had to keep him, that's just 1 more year before you have to say bye-bye to him. So I feel like that doesn't really make too much sense. And the Malcolm Brogdon Buddy Hield one, I'm guessing you'd have to add in Taylor Horton Tucker and your 2027 first round pick. If
Yeah,
that's on the table, I would do that 10 times out of 10 because Malcolm Brogdon is a 3-level scorer. He's just a traditional point guard who can do a bit of everything. Buddy Hield, as we know, is a bit inconsistent, but he can really shoot the ball and space the floor. And those two guys, in my opinion, as well as Malcolm Brogdon's defense, will really help the Lakers going forward. So I feel like that's the ideal trade.
yeah, man. I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like we should move on from THT. I understand he's a good player, but us as Lakers fans, we're impatient. We want to win. We want to get better. But if you guys don't show up and we don't play well, they're gonna want to move from him. Like, look at what happened with Kyle Kuzma. He's been playing well for the Wizards this season. Well, even though they didn't make the playoffs, but it seems like every time we get a new Lakers player that they don't play well for our team. Would you agree on me on that?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
100%. But I feel like that is to do with expectation and role in the team. For example, Kuzma on the Lakers was a fourth, fifth option, and the expectation within the organization was much higher. Whereas with the Wizards, Kyle Kuzma has more of the license to take more shots, be more confident, and kind of play his game without having LeBron screaming down his throat, pause, and also having to play a certain role which he doesn't feel comfortable being because they played him as more of a floor space like a stretch four when Kuzma can shoot the ball. However, that's not really his game. So it's more to do with the expectation of the team and the team he was on, like the role, more than his ability because Kuzma is still the same player he was last season, in my opinion. He just has a different role.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with you. And what do you think of Anthony Davis? The rumors with Chicago Bulls about Alex Cruz and all this happening,
A trade?
and yeah, Nikola Vucic.
Personally speaking, I know AD is very injury prone,
Yeah,
but there
man.
is no way I'm trading AD for Alex Caruso and Vucevic because if you've watched Vucevic play this season, most Chicago Bull fans would rather have Wendell Carter back as well as Franz Wagner, who was part of the deal at the pick. So I don't feel like Vucevic will be the answer. And I wouldn't trade AD, although he is very injury prone. You can maybe survey the market to see what his value is, but if his value is Vucevic and Alex Caruso, you may as well just keep him on your roster at that point.
All right. So, what moves would you want to see from the Lakers this offseason? We know we talked about the Charlotte Hornets, the Indiana Pacers. What other teams do you got involved? What do you think would want our players
Yeah,
or?
that's a good question. So I've already said get a bunch of younger players or 3-and-D guys. For example, a few names I could throw around is Torian Prince, Otto Porter Jr., maybe even Mitchell Robinson. I don't know how that would work financially, but that's just another name. But trades-wise for Russell Westbrook, an interesting one which people don't like is John Wall,
Yeah,
because
I don't like that trade at all.
uh,
They could have done it,
um,
but they refused because we're gonna have to give up a first round pick, if I'm not wrong, right?
yeah, that's correct. But I feel like it's silly because worst case scenario, if John Wall fails,
He's gonna get injured again.
that's if John Wall fails, gets injured, his contract expires next year. And the difference between him and Westbrook is he's a better defender. He's a slightly better three-point shooter. I just think he's a better player in general. And if it does fail, like I said, that's another year. He only has a year left and he'll be gone. And I believe in January or February, whenever the trade deadline was, the Rockets also included Christian Wood in the deal, but you didn't want to take on extra salary cap. You don't want to be further than the luxury tax. And I feel like that is a poor decision, as Chris Wood, I'm telling you right now, he's a borderline all-star level player. And having that on your roster is not something that you should take for granted. So I believe that was silly from Rob Pelinka.
You want to end the video off here right now?
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you for tuning in, asking me to collab with you, man. It's been a pleasure. The link will be in the description. You have anything else to say before we end it?
No, I just got to say thank you for having me on your channel, to be fair. And like I said, these next few months, we're both going to grow. We're both going to blow up real soon, but we just got to keep grinding. And thank you guys for watching.
Leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.
Peace.